Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to 5 Minutes of Math. This is Mr. Lunsford, and I am glad you're joining me this evening. Tonight's homework is for the evening of March 5th, 2018, and we're looking at the introduction to calculating volume. Alright, so let's get started. Alright, with volume, we're looking at the area of the base times the height of an object. And with finding the area of composite figures, we've only been dealing with two dimensions. And I'll explain what I mean right here. If you're looking at a piece of paper, and let's pretend that's a piece of paper with some writing on it. Alright, it's terrible writing, but it's writing. We're only dealing with length and width. Alright, there is no height. When we're talking about height that we can see and appreciate. Yes, there is some thickness to a piece of paper, but a piece of paper is the way we see it is completely flat. All right, so we're dealing basically with length and width when we're talking about area, and that's why our answers have always been in units squared. So here we have our two dimensions, length and width. And an example of that would be inches squared, centimeters squared, etc. And if we're looking at volume, though, we're adding one more dimension to it. Area is length times width times height. Okay, so we have length, width, and height. So imagine that that piece of paper has been dropped into the bottom of a cardboard box. Now we're talking about filling up some space. So our answers, length times width times height, are always going to be in units cubed. All right, because there are three dimensions. So we're looking at inches cubed, centimeters cubed, so on and so forth. So let's look at our first problem. Number one has us look at a rectangular prism. All right, and a rectangular prism, is basically a cardboard box. All right, it's a three-dimensional shape based on a polygon. Okay, so we have a base here that is a rectangle. So we're starting off with that formula. The base is a rectangle, and that's just the formula is just length times width. Now, the length I'm calling 2, the width I'm calling 3, doesn't matter which way you put it. And height, this time, because we're talking about volume, is 6 feet. And our unit, of course, we have to take into consideration our units, are feet. Now, we start with the area, length times width. That's the area of the base. 2 times 3. 2 times 3 is 6. Now we can involve that height. And now we have 6 times 6, and the answer is 36 feet cubed. All right, that's the answer to our first problem. Our second problem also looks at a different kind of prism, but this time the base is a triangle, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. The base right here, if you can look at the front of this shape, is a triangle. It's a right triangle, and the area formula for that is 1/2 base times height. Now I just put down 0.5 times base times height. 11 I'm going to use as our base, and be careful when you're figuring out which number to use as your height. Because you're saying, okay, I'm multiplying the height in a triangle, but I'm also using the height of the prism. There's a difference in those two numbers. The 7 is the height of the triangle at the base. The 14 is the height of the prism. Okay, so again, that 7 right here goes with that 11 as part of the formula for that triangle, but the 14 is the height of that prism. So, and we know here our units are meters. So, going through the problem, our volume is the area of the base times the height. Volume is 0.5 times 11 times 7 times our height. So, 0.5 times 77 times 14, 38.5 times 14. Now, if we were just finding the area of that triangle on the front, we would stop here at 38.5, but now we're going to multiply that number by 14. And the answer here is 539 meters cubed. And that's pretty much it for number 2. Y'all take care, and remember, math is not just about numbers, it's all about the relationships that surround us every day. Have a good one.